Hey, thanks for watching the channel. This is Thogard coming in with a brand new Stamina Nightblade build. This patch, a lot of Stamina Nightblades on the message boards and in Discord said that their class was ruined. I respectfully disagree. I think it's never been stronger, never been more useful in group situations, and never been more capable of playing in what I would consider to be the more challenging types of PvP, whether that is 1vx, dueling, small scale, etc. I am a big fan of Stamblade, and those of you that watch my channel know that I don't usually release build videos this early on. I usually don't like to put out build videos until I'm just really confident in the quality of the build, which usually takes me until about 2 weeks before the patch is over with and we're on with a new one. I wanted to break that cycle this time because not only is this build really strong, it's also just really fucking fun. I've been having so much fun on this build, and that's why I wanted to get it out there. It's not cheesy. It's not, relying on procs. It's just an all-around amazing build for every scenario other than dueling. The build's pretty straightforward. Some of the items, some of the skills, really just one skill is pretty controversial, but let me walk you through these skills. What I'm running is Ambush as a gap closer and giving that minor vulnerability. Relentless Focus, that 15% mitigation that you get now is amazing, and the heal gives some survivability too if you use it in close range. Dizzy Swing, that's what a lot of people have been saying. Why are you running Dizzy Swing on a Stamblade? That's a little bit ridiculous. Well, honestly, I think it sounds ridiculous too. I don't have a good explanation for why it works. It just fucking works, and it's amazing. It's a really fun skill. There's nothing more satisfying than hitting some kid with a Dizzy, knocking him up, using his uptime in the air to make sure that Relentless lands, and then finishing him off with Killer's Blade on the end. I'm also running Rally. That rounds out the front bar. Ultimate is Incap. I'm using Incap over Soul Harvest because that the silence that comes from Incap's actually fairly useful when fighting a mag sort, which I think there's a fucking ton of them running around right now. It's also just a pretty decent amount of sustain, both magicka and stamina, and I think that's really the key is not just the stamina sustain, but the magicka sustain. I'm running medium armor with this build, and I think one of the greatest weaknesses of a medium armor build is the magicka sustain on a Stam tune, and this Incap goes a long way to fixing that problem. My backbar is a bow backbar. I'm using Piercing Mark. You could also switch this out for the other morph depending on if you want more 1vx opportunity or if you want to just really fuck over Nightblades. I really want to fuck over other Nightblades, like the cloaking kind. So I'm running Piercing Mark, but technically speaking it would be better if I were to choose the other morph. I'm also running Shuffle because again I'm in medium armor. Poison Injection as a dot, also as a way to trigger the Master Bow, which I have active on the back bar. Vigor, obviously, and Dark Cloak. Not Shadowy Disguise, but Dark Cloak, giving me minor protection, 8% damage mitigation, plus a pretty decent heal. My backbar ultimate, I've got Ballista there right now. 9 times out of 10 though, I'll actually be using Undo. The Ballista is there from when I was dueling yesterday, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to want Undo from the Sitchik guild there just as a defensive ult. If that's not there, one of the Nightblade more healing focused ultimates like Soul Tether should be fine. When we look at the loadout, when we look at the items, let me go over that real quick. I'm running 5-piece 7th Legion. That's going to be active on both bars. You'll notice I've got the chest, the legs, and the jewelry on 7th Legion. My back bar is a Master Bow, and that's infused. Okay, and it's infused with a weapon damage glyph. What that means is when I get my poison injection on someone, I'm getting 750 weapon damage, 450 from the glyph and 300 from the Master Bow proc. You factor that into medium armor and then another 20% for rally, and you're looking at about 1,000 weapon damage there. Front bar, I'm running Spriggans. Spriggans is a great set in my opinion, not just because it's like one of the highest DPS sets in the game, but it's also not an item set you have to have active on your back bar. I don't necessarily need to benefit from it on my poison injection, which is the only real damage ability I have on the Backbar. Everything else gets the Spriggans weapon damage and physical bin, which is what makes it so strong. My Spriggans pieces, I'm running the 3 medium, gloves, belt, and boots, and that's all going to be an impen. Obviously, every single thing here is an impen. Everything's an impen. And we're running 5 medium, 2 heavy. The Spriggans Greatsword is Nirnhoned. I would strongly suggest using a Greatsword because that's going to be just another one of those multipliers that really boosts up your damage. The real amazing thing about this build is just how much you can boost up that damage. On the front bar, I'm running a double dot damage health poison. That puts a lot of pressure on people, not just to add a little bit of burst, but it puts pressure on too. But honestly, the burst is not a small amount. And when you're dealing with the fact that most of the people you're fighting, if you do it right, are going to have minor vulnerability, 8% extra damage. The Incap's extra 20% damage. They're going to be taking a lot of extra damage from a lot of different sources. My monster set is Pirate Skeleton. Again, this has to be a medium in order for you to get the 5 medium, 2 heavy. This is a set that can be a little bit frustrating to wear. The healing in this build is just so high. You've got Rally, which is a huge burst heal. You've got Vigor, which is pretty nice, but you've also got Dark Cloak, which is going to give you a pretty decent amount of healing. And you'll notice that on my bars, Dark Cloak is the only magic costing skill, so you can have pretty serious uptime, and really as high uptime as you want on it in a CP environment. Pirate Skeleton can be a little bit frustrating to use because of that bar swap glitch. It kind of locks you into the animation for half a second when the thing procs. So be sure to go to Bergama in the Alakir Desert and get this Crown Dishdasha. It's from the quest that you start as soon as you walk into town. This dude will come running up to you and take the quest, get the costume, and that will make you look fucking horrible. But it'll also do a pretty good job of making sure you don't get stuck in that animation bug, which can be a real fucking pain in the ass. So when it comes to the jewelry on this build, I am running Infused, and Protective. Honestly, I could probably drop this Protective here and run Infused here too. But the main thing here is that I'm stacking weapon damage. But I've also got an Infused cost reduction. And that's to make it so that I can sprint pretty constantly, but still not have to worry too much about starving myself. Not that cost reduction has any effect on sprint itself, but you're not going to have to worry as much about running yourself too low with skills. You'll be able to make a small stamina bar last longer with an Infused cost reduction. And you're not going to have to worry about losing that sustain due to the sprint buff, really, due to the sprint buff blocking your stamina regen. So using reduced stamina cost glyph and then heavy attacking for the stamina sustain and using Incap light attacks is, in my opinion, better on this build than stacking stamina regen, which you really don't necessarily need since you'll be sprinting or blocking most of the time anyway, and therefore not really going to take full advantage of it. That being said, I do obviously still have some stamina regen in there. Right now, speaking of, I'm using the Serpent, which increases stamina recovery by 238. You could maybe replace this with with the Steed, and then just never sprint. But Cyrodiil being what Cyrodiil is, you're probably going to want the Serpent in there just for those longer sustained fights, especially when shit gets laggy and your heavy attacks start missing, because playing Prime Time is fucking suicide. For the food, I'm using Artaeum Takeaway Broth. Great food. It's not nearly as expensive as it used to be. It got nerfed, but it's still the best in slot. For my race, I am an orc, if you can't tell. It's because, again, I'm trying to stack weapon damage, but also, low-key, the healing that comes in from that orc passive is not a joke. It's not amazing, but it's not a joke. And one of the great things about this build is that even though it's medium armor, there's a pretty serious amount of mitigation going on. You've got 25% AoE mitigation from this, 8% minor protection here. Pirate Skeleton's going to give you 30% mitigation from the major protection. And then you've got another 15% from Relentless once you stack it up. And then you factor in your armor resists. Because we have so many other sources of mitigation, the actual net damage blocked by stacking armor is not very high. The reason I'm using one protective jewelry trait is because every once in a while something like Dark Cloak and Pirate Skeleton will both drop at the same time. And then you fire your Relentless, and then you have like, you know, 0 mitigation, and you run the risk of getting one shot. So I do have that one protective trait in there. But again, if you have a perfect rotation, or if you're really good at the build, you probably wouldn't even need that. As far as the potion goes, this is one of the more expensive potions. If you're 1vxing, I would use this. If you try to duel with this potion, you're throwing away your gold. What this potion is, it's one of the new potions. It's made out of Columbine, Butterfly Wing, and Dragon Blood. Dragon Blood, of course, being one of the new ingredients. It's very expensive. And one of the great things about this is you can get an extra heal, extra stamina, but it's that restore 933 health per second. It's going to be affected by Battle Spirit, but it's going to be a really strong potion because it's going to give you just so much extra healing. Don't forget that when you go into a battleground, you're going to want to unequip Pirate Skeleton and equip Medium Bloodspawn instead. What that's going to do is it's going to give you extra Stam sustain, but it's also going to boost up significantly your ultimate regen. And being able to get to an undo that much faster is going to be more of a survivability fix than having major protection. In an OCP environment, if you're in the wrong spot, you're going to die, no matter how much mitigation you're running. But having Bloodspawn gives you both more ability to break free, roll dodge, but also the ability to get to that undo faster, which, you know, may still fuck you if it doesn't fucking work. That happens pretty frequently. As far as champion points go, we are not doing anything too crazy on the blue tree. We've got 15 in Blessed. We tried boosting this up higher to get this to see if the crit would be noticeable on Dark Cloak. It wasn't. So we've got 15 in Blessed. We have Tactician unlocked, which gives us the ability to set someone off balance with a roll dodge. You can then heavy attack with a two-hander, or more surprisingly with a bow to catch people off guard and give you some impact while staying in range. 73 Master Arms, 21 Physical Weapons Expert. You actually hit pretty hard with the attacks, especially because you're empowering those with the ambush. And 26 in Shatter and Glow because, again, fuck Max Orcs. On this tree, we've got 64 in Mighty, 45 in Piercing, 26 in Precise Strikes. On the red tree, we've got 73 in Ironclad to mitigate those big hits, 59 in Resistance because, again, we want to eliminate or at least reduce as much as possible the variation in damage that's coming in, and eliminating direct damage and boosting crit resistance and reducing crit damage is the best two ways to do that. On this tree, we've got 49 in each. We're not as worried about thick skin. Bleeds are not as big a deal because we are mitigating the bleed damage with the damage reduction from Relentless, Major Protection, Minor Protection, etc. And we don't really stack that much in resistances, so we don't need as much thick-skinned as you would on a regular build. Nothing here. Green tree, I have a disgusting amount in Sprinter. There's no good reason for this other than the fact that I sprint a lot. So keep in mind, Warlord's going to be probably the biggest play here. Don't forget to put a little bit in Mooncalf, a little bit in Tenacity. These two, just play around, see what works best for you. And again, we're not running a Defile, so don't feel the need to boost Befoul. We are dodge rolling quite a lot and blocking a pretty decent amount too. So that is the build. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you don't, go fuck yourself. And don't forget to check out Toxic Tuesday every Tuesday on twitch.tv/ThogardPvP. Thanks again for watching, and as always, don't forget to spay and neuter your sword pets. Thank you.